Hi, I'm Quinn Lemley with Secrets of the Stage. This is the place where we pull back the curtains and we examine the creative process. And today I am so excited because I have Flory Hiatrides, who is a training and development specialist with Awakened Events. Flory, welcome.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here.
I know. We met a couple months ago.
Not even.
And here we have this great dialogue already started. And the minute I met you, I knew I needed you on the show.
That's what happens. That's what the law of attraction is, right?
That's right. And that's
WTBF, waiting to be found.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Most people waiting to be found.
Yes, I'm waiting to be found,
And
Flory.
I found you. I found you.
Yes, you did. So, Flory, tell me, you've had 3 companies, more in the technology business side, and now you're more in mindfulness. Tell me about your journey and your process and how you got to do what you're doing now.
Absolutely. I'm just going to make one adjustment to what you just asked because
Please do.
I have been in technology and business, but now I'm not more into mindfulness. I have integrated mindfulness into business or infused it. I like kind of that word.
That.
Right, because that's really the secret sauce, secret weapon to being happy is mindfulness combined with our business techniques and topics. So the first 40 years of my life, analytics, deduction, math. My undergrad's math, computer science, MBA finance, 2 doctorates, all analytic, all deduction.
And now you're a goddess of
finding
people and finding your path.
Well, listen, like my slingshot, the further back you go, the further forward you go.
Yes.
So I was doing great, living a very see it and believe it kind of life. Very analytical deduction, algorithm, mathematicians. We add it up, we solve it, QED, it's done, it's figured, it's manageable, it's quantifiable. And then you realize life doesn't work that way.
Right.
So literally, when I turned 40, I was expecting my first child. I was married. And because I was expecting, I was going to sell my company, which I had built from the ground up.
Wow.
And it was a lot, but I realized I wanted to be a mom. So my husband at the time, my ex-husband now, we sold my company. And I was headed to Japan because that's who I sold it to. But I was excited because I was pregnant and I was selling the company because I was having a baby. Literally on April 6th of the year 2000, that given day, my dad passed away suddenly. I miscarried and had to get on a plane to Japan. Come home from Japan, no company, no dad, no baby.
It's crazy how life throws things at us, right?
Just when, again, algorithmically, everything was working and adding up. So now the only reason I had sold the company was because I was expecting a baby.
A baby, right?
So now I come home to immense loss. And my mathematical equations, if you will, and those of you who know simultaneous equations, it was not enough to solve this situation. So literally for the last almost 3 years now, I've been studying mindfulness, spirituality, healing modalities, and I have now integrated that with my previous life of business productivity and performance management. So my goal is really as a facilitator, entrepreneur, performance coach, is to get people to perform at their highest, which really means happiness.
Right.
That's all everyone wants.
And how do you define happiness?
So it's crazy. You can ask people a million which ways, but at the end of the day, they want the feeling that they think what they want will give them. So let me just back up a second. People think they want the marriage, the relationship, the husband, the wife, the sex, the car, the plane, the boat. I heard someone the other day said they want a submarine to make them happy.
No, are you serious?
Yeah. A submarine and a ranch, actually.
Why?
I don't know what's going on there. Maybe, I don't even want to speculate.
Maybe some Jules Verne.
Yes.
Right?
I don't know. But the point is, we really don't want those things or even those relationships. We really want the feeling those things will give us. So, and that feeling is complete happiness, peace, joy. But that translates, and we'll talk about in a moment all the pieces, it translates into financial abundance. It translates into emotional abundance. It translates into abundance in every area of your life.
Well, so, abundance is the whole picture. It's not,
wealth.
Yes.
But not just monetary wealth.
Right.
Physical wealth, relationship wealth, spiritual wealth.
Yes.
So I realized that the paradigm of see it and then believe it, which is what I was taught and trained as a scientist, is really completely opposite. The real paradigm is you believe it and then you will see it.
Yes.
But if you can combine that mindset, as my poster says here, mindset is everything.
Yes.
If you can combine that mindset with analytical, deductive, problem-solving skills, now you've got it.
Wow. You read so many books and tried out so many modalities. Can you talk about the people that influence you and how you've put this together?
Absolutely. So previously to the mindfulness discipline, if you will. The analytics and deduction and the business productivity, right? That I had been teaching forever.
Right.
So now to infuse it, you're basically saying, like, who were my inspiration? And one of them for sure, and probably the first and probably still most important to me, is Esther, Jerry and Esther Hicks.
Yes.
If people have heard of this, Ask and It Is Given. So this was like after The Secret. People heard of The Secret.
Yes.
But unfortunately, The Secret made it sound like you go into your room and you just hope and pray for a car.
Hope and pray, and right.
Right. What people don't realize is it's inspired action.
Right.
So you need to understand manifestation techniques, but then they have to be fueled by inspired action. You could hope and pray that you want to be a neurosurgeon all you want,
Right.
but if you don't go to school,
Right.
we don't want you operating on us, right?
Right.
So it's inspired action. But what's beautiful about this is Ask and It Is Given. There are 3 steps to manifesting, right? Step 1 is ask.
Right.
Step 3 is you get. But people are like, well, I've been asking and I'm not getting. Step 2 is remove resistance and be ready to receive.
And that is being open to hearing that inner voice and seeing the signs.
Part A.
Okay.
Part B, C, D, and E are to look at what limiting beliefs you have.
Yes.
Ancestral patterns, self-doubt, self-talk, negative thoughts. So I don't know if you're aware, most people have an idea. We have 60,000 thoughts a day.
Yes.
You want to guess how many for the average person are negative?
Probably 80%.
Very good. 55,192.
Oh my God.
Higher.
Wow.
Which means every thought that's coming across most people's mind is negative. So the rare, positive, optimistic thought doesn't even stand a chance. So you really have to recondition your mind. Another author, leader, spiritual guide in this field is Joe Dispenza. He's a doctor who actually had an accident and cured himself of broken vertebrae.
What kind of accident did he have?
He had a bike accident. And
wow.
I brought one of his books here, You Are Your Own Placebo. He also wrote a book called Supernatural, where you can actually heal yourself. What I love about Joe is he actually connects people to equipment, and when they're thinking positive thoughts, their cells are regenerating.
Right.
And negative thoughts, the opposite is happening. The reason we don't manifest is because we have resistance. But there's 4 areas that we can have resistance in: our thoughts, words, actions, and beliefs. So thoughts, words, actions, and beliefs have to be going in the same direction. The problem is most people are thinking one thing, saying another, believing another, and doing another.
Yes.
My analogy is you walk into a restaurant and you tell the waiter you want a hot dog, and then you tell the maitre d' that you want salmon. You go back and tell the chef you want a steak, and then you tell the hostess that you want cranberries.
And what do you get?
And you're like, I didn't order this.
Right.
If the universe is confused, you will not get what you want. If you are completely clear with the universe, you will get exactly what you want.
Sometimes we're not clear about what our deepest desires are. We think that we want something. How do we get to that place where we're so clear and so in tune with the universe and what our deepest desires are?
So initially, it's a little bit of practice, right? Just practice getting rid of some of those negative thoughts. You know, we talk about clarity. Even if people aren't clarity on what they want tangibly, they are very clear on how they want to feel and what you don't want. And the contrast is equally important to manifesting, right? So as you encounter a feeling or a person or a situation that you don't want, that's what you're telling the universe. I don't know exactly what I want yet. I want to feel like this, but I don't want that.
Yes.
So that is equally important. So I talk about sorting and sifting, and again, I'm very big on visuals. You know a strainer, what it looks like?
Yes.
Another word for a strainer is a sieve.
Right. Oh, I love the sieve. Yes.
Right? So when people talk about being responsive, that means before you speak, and we're going to talk about emotional intelligence, you want to take a step back and think about it. You want to sort and sift.
What is a technique that somebody can sort and sieve?
Right, so they have to be aware. So first of all, awareness is key. It's another way of saying intention, right? In business world, that would be like saying we set goals,
right?
But the equivalent in the mindful world is about setting intention. So it is to be aware. So I have to back up and talk a little bit about emotional intelligence because that is one of my favorite topics.
I love it.
One of my books here too is on emotional intelligence. So when I ask people...
And who wrote the book?
This one, David Walton.
Okay.
But there's so many books on emotional intelligence now. Way back, it was like just people thought emotional intelligence was just understanding their feelings and other people's feelings. But it is so much more than that. Like, you've heard of emotional intelligence.
Of course.
How would you define it or say that emotionally intelligent people are...
self-aware, aware, they're connected.
So think of what you just said. Therefore, if I am all those things, and I'll add a few more, but if I'm all those things, you asked me the question of how do I sort and sift? And I'm saying that if you're emotionally intelligent all the time, that happens naturally. I want this, I don't want this, I want this, I want to bring more of this into my life. Saying it, mantras, there's so many techniques. But emotional intelligence basically has 5 components. Do you want me to tell you those 5?
Yes, please tell me.
Okay. The first one is...
They can't wait. You can tell them to the camera.
Which way?
Right here, that's your
okay,
camera.
here we go, the
Okay.
5. And they're in the order that makes sense and is appropriate. So self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, trust and empathy, and social skill. Let me give you a little bit on that. Awareness. We'll talk about, I use the Myers-Briggs type indicator.
Yes.
There's a lot of instruments. I like MBTI because it's about preference, not behavior.
They might not know, you're talking very fast, so they might not know what Myers-Briggs is. I think I'm a feeling...
Extrovert.
Extrovert, yes. Yes.
The MBTI has 4 dimensions, and it's to help you identify your natural, by nature, as opposed to nurture. Nurture is how you develop and cultivated, right?
Right.
Nature is how you're born.
Right.
So what we want to know is who are we by nature?
Right.
So that we don't always show up by nature, because not every situation wants us the way we are.
Yes.
So let's say by nature, which I am, an extrovert.
Right.
That means I get my energy outside of myself, right? I am aware that I am extroverted, which means if I'm surrounded by a group of introverts, I have to adjust my behavior.
Of course.
So step 2 is regulation. But we can't regulate what we're not aware of.
Right.
So if we think the whole world is like us, we're not regulating anything. But we're also not selling the house, convincing the jury, convincing the topic, the students, whatever. We're not getting the outcome we want.
That's why we're repelled by people when they push their modality on us.
In any of these dimensions.
Right.
We're just talking about the energy one.
Right.
So if I went through those 5 elements of emotional intelligence, one is I'm an extrovert. I admit it. Step 2 is I'm going to regulate. I was just on a flight to Miami, and the gentleman next to me, noticeably introverted, reflective.
And you didn't say, hi, how are you?
I said nothing for 3 hours because I realized there was no reason to do that, right? I was just going to knock him out of his zone, which is our vortex, which is behind me.
I can't wait to get to the vortex.
Okay, so step 1 is I'm an introvert. Step 2 is I'm not always going to be an introvert. I'm going to assess the situation, and I'm going to regulate my behavior. Step 3 is motivation. If I understand who you are and who I am, then I can motivate you. I motivate extroverts different than I motivate introverts. If I told you to go, you worked for me in my story, and I said, Quinn, you're going to go to a seminar for 3 days, no talking, all reflection, note taking, no dinners, no lunch. Look, I've sapped the energy.
I have no energy.
And I've taken you right out of your zone.
Yes.
But if you were an introvert, I sent you that seminar, you'd be, that's great. Okay. So you can't motivate people if you don't know who they are.
Right.
Step 4 is trust and empathy. You're not going to trust me, and I can't have empathy for you if I can't walk in your shoes.
Right.
You know, walk a while in my shoes, but I can only do that if I know who you are. And the last thing is social skill, which is networking and building relationships. You cannot do that if you don't understand people. So in the MBTI, the introvert-extrovert is just one dimension. I'll give you one more dimension. There are 4, but this is not a training class.
Right.
Even though I'm ready to get up and, you know, go to posters. The second dimension is, are you more of an inventor or an implementer? Not what you do, what you prefer. Like what gets your juices going? The ideas, creation, or seeing them get done? Like the implementation. I understand that when we have ideas, we like to see them carried through. But if I told you right now, you can spend the rest of your life brainstorming or the rest of your life implementing.
Brainstorming.
See, I pushed you because I said the rest of your life. You were like, well, I like implementation because it gets my idea done.
Right.
But as soon as I pushed you to an extreme, okay, so now, and so am I. In Myers-Briggs language, that's called intuitives. We are big picture, visionary.
Yes.
We get excited by the forest.
Yes.
Not the trees.
Yes.
We know the trees are important.
Yes,
but
but
we
let somebody else water them.
Right. Or the tulips.
The tulips are watered.
So you don't have to have all the skills. You surround yourself with people who compliment you, but you have to be aware that you don't have that skill. So when you go to bed at night, I will bet when your head goes on the pillow, you do not have to say, I wonder if I had enough great ideas today.
No.
I wonder if I started enough new projects.
No.
That's what happens because that's who Quinn is. Quinn and Flory go to bed saying, did I start too many projects today?
Yes.
I have to make sure that I don't freak out everybody who works with me because I start, okay. So emotional intelligence is knowing who you are and then knowing to complement who you are, regulate, hire people, fill in the gaps.
That fill in what you're not.
But what most people, this is why I love my pieces behind me and how this is such a puzzle and we're so integrated. You can't stay in the vortex, which I'm defining as joy and happiness, if you don't know who you are and you're not emotionally intelligent. It's impossible because the world is going to ask you to be and do things you're not comfortable with. If you don't practice those things, you're going to be knocked out. That's how these pieces connect. So if you want to be in joy and happiness, it is a matter of having tools in all the pieces of your life.
Right.
So emotional intelligence, this all started because you said, how do you sort and sift?
Yes.
And I said, if you're not emotionally intelligent, it's going to be hard to sort and sift. So it's not enough to know, you have to know how.
Exactly.
And that's why it's called know-how.
Oh,
right? Because
go.
if you don't, and because my training was so scientific, I ensure that people are given tools. So we talk about these 5 pieces of our life, right? Because pain or joy in any piece of our life leads to pain or joy in all of them, right? So I'm referring to behind me.
Right, being in the vortex.
Right, and over here, right, the 5 pieces. So physical is your body, health and wellness.
Yes.
And I'm also a holistic health counselor.
Wonderful.
Emotional is your relationships. Aspirational is your goals. Cerebral is your work or school, because I have a lot of young people coming. And ethereal is your spirit. So pick one of those. You pick one, and we'll talk about a pain or joy and how it goes through all of them.
Aspirational.
Okay, so that's goals. Let's say
Yes.
I'm a realtor. I have a lot of realtors because they realize they don't make money if they don't build relationships.
Right.
And I'm very good at helping people build relationships. So I'm a realtor, and I'm going to sell 10 houses in the next year, or 12, one a month. But I sell 50. Right? In other words, I've exceeded my goals. That all the other pieces are going to feel it.
Yes.
Right? My spirit's
Yes.
going to rise. I'm going to have a better dinner. I'm going to have a better date with my husband or kids.
Yes.
Or everybody, the kids can ask you anything. Sure, you want pizza tonight with
Right.
friends? Because what's happening is that joy puts you in your zone, your vortex, and you're protected. Now pick a different puzzle piece.
Let's talk physical. A lot of people have physical problems.
So I was going to say a pain in physical, right? I'm dealing with, working, helping, assisting, learning from several people who have cancer. So cancer starts off at a physical diagnosis. It starts off as physical pain, right? Does it
Right.
affect the rest of your life?
Yes, of course.
Every one of them. Your
Everyone.
relationships, your work, your goals, your finances, your spirit.
Everything.
So to not think of your life as a puzzle is a disservice. And what I love about the puzzle is they are so integrated. You don't want to separate those pieces.
No.
You want to integrate them. I'm interviewed a lot, and someone said to me, Flory, what are your hobbies? And it took me for a moment because I was having a hard time. And I wasn't having a hard time because I don't have hobbies. I was having a hard time because I don't define them as hobbies. Because hobbies are something you do when work ends.
Right.
And everything I do is integrated.
So is mine. So is mine.
So for example, a hobby is water skiing.
Well, and you live on a lake.
And I live on a lake. But while I'm water skiing, I'm creating.
Me
I'm
too.
thinking, I'm brainstorming. So is that work? I don't know.
No,
it's all of it.
It's being in the divine zone.
Right, but it's water skiing, so it is physical activity, right?
And it's mental because you have to.
And I am
navigate.
creating, and I'm with my kids on the boat, so it's relationship.
Right.
So my point of the story is we want to start looking at our lives where activities can integrate these pieces. Because when one goes up, they all go up.
I love it.
You know, I work out with my daughter. We went to Aruba, and we worked out every day together. I'm like, oh my gosh.
How fun.
And I was doing Instagram posts from there, and I was like, this activity covers every piece. I'm working out with my daughter,
Doing
achieving
marketing.
my goal, doing marketing, and being
Right.
uplifted. And it's one activity.
Right.
So people say, Flory, you know, I have several companies and homes and exciting projects. I'm like, how do you do it all? I'm like, because it doesn't have to be hard. It's not easy, but it's ease and flow. Right? It does. If it's hard, you're doing something wrong.
Right.
If it's hard, you're outside the vortex. You're swimming upstream.
Right. And so when you have a client and they're swimming upstream, how do you get them to turn around?
Don't expect the thoughts that got you outside the vortex to be the thoughts that get you back in. You need different tools and different people and different surroundings and different environments. Because the same thoughts, you know, there's that old saying, the definition of insanity, doing the same thing,
over
expecting
and
a different
over again.
result.
Right.
Well, we could say thinking the same thoughts and expecting a different thought is insanity as well. So you need techniques, you need different tools, something like the Myers-Briggs, for example. If someone is not getting the outcome they want, so I had a lot of realtors coming to me lately, and after we talked, it was like they did not realize who they are and how they have to adjust. Imagine being, let's flip it around, a very introverted realtor, right? Who has less energy and reflects a lot, but now they're driving around all day, 2 extroverted people to show them houses.
They're going to be exhausted.
The realtor is going to be exhausted, and they're probably not going to buy a house because they didn't get what they needed.
No.
So can you see how those are connecting the
Yes.
pieces? Right. Now once you sell that, so if you go outside your zone a little, you learn some extroverted skills, you sell the house, now you stay in the vortex.
Right.
But you have to be emotionally intelligent to do that. So these pieces are just so connected. I can't get across enough. Even in aspirational, which is goal setting, we teach people how to set goals. There's a way to set goals. People do not realize that.
Can you give us a technique of how to set goals?
Yeah, there's an acronym we use, but I'll give you one of the pieces of it. It's setting SMART goals, right? Specific, measurable, agreed upon, realistic, timed. Okay, don't worry about writing it down. It sounds like a lot, but I'm going to give you an example because I'm all about for example.
Okay.
That's what drives it home. That's like evidence. I always feel like I'm a lawyer when I'm teaching.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
By the way,
Evidence-based.
right, and that's the mathematician in me, but that's what's going to win people over. Before I do the goal thing, let me give you another example. When people come to me and they're like, Flory, I love that you're a business person, you live in this beautiful home, so we know you were successful on Wall Street, but this mindfulness stuff, this metaphysics, I don't believe in it.
I love it.
You have to meet people where they're at. You know, you're not going to start talking about angels and leprechauns. You're going to meet them where they're at. So I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
So make believe you don't believe in any of this.
Okay.
All right. And even if you do, I'm still going to ask you the same question.
Okay.
So, Quinn, do
Yes.
you think when people are sick in the hospital, they get better quicker when they have visitors or when they have no visitors? Do they get better quicker?
I think when they have visitors,
That's what everyone says. But let's break it down.
Okay.
Why?
because they're connecting with people, they're being uplifted, they're feeling cared for, they're feeling loved, they're feeling the other person's energy.
And how does
and
that
they
affect?
vibrate on a higher level.
And they're getting better. So they're getting love and connection and security and feeling and emotion and uplifting, and they're getting better. The one piece missing is the connection between those thoughts and your body regenerating.
Right.
So that, unless that person visiting you is bringing drugs, which in my story they're not.
No.
Right. So just think, everybody says with visitors, but
Right.
they never break it down to a metaphysical principle.
That's true. I mean, we kind of assume.
That's right. But if you want to convince someone of something they already know, see, that's what great teachers do. They start with something you know, and then we leap from there. So people know that. Goosebumps are another good example.
I know my favorite. I love goosebumps.
Think of it, you can just talk and you can get goosebumps.
Yes.
You can have a physical reaction to me talking.
Yes.
Tears. Just go to tears.
Yes.
You can think a thought and start crying. Nobody's touching you, nobody's hitting you. So people believe in metaphysical principles. I just want to bring that out.
Right.
They just don't break it down. So I want them to start to think about those things. And then I ask a few other simple questions, and then I get them hooked because they believe it already.
What are some other questions?
Okay, would you rather be around happy people all day or nasty, negative people?
Happy people.
Everybody says that, but
Yes.
why?
Because it makes you feel good. It lifts you up. Your energy rises. You feel connected.
You're in the vortex.
You're in the vortex.
All good things happen. You're more creative.
Yes.
You feel better. You physically feel better. Your goals are easier to achieve.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
These metaphysical principles are in play and people know them. They're not thinking about them. Right? And how about those negative people all day?
You don't want to be around them.
They
sap
your energy. So you'll
Right.
love the book, Zap and Sap.
Oh, who wrote
Zap with a Z. I forgot the author. I used to use it in my seminars, right? Do you want to be a zapper or a...
Sapper.
Right. And it affects all of these. So what people don't realize is I am giving you full deliberate choice to get rid of some of those people. When you choose, you get complete freedom. And if you look at the word deliberate, make deliberate choices, liberates in the word.
That's true.
So if you want freedom, deliberate choices. But the key to setting goals is to make sure that your goals are aligned with your destiny and that they are feeding you. Let me give you a quick example. Stephen Covey.
Yes.
7 Habits Highly Effective People, First Things First, business author. He tells a great story, and I'll make it very quick. Guy's painting a house, and it's going to take 5 hours to paint the house. Or you're painting your house, and it's going to take you 5 hours. You pull your ladder back because you finished the house in 3 hours. So how are you feeling?
Great.
You pull your ladder back, and you look, and you're like, oh, no, I painted the wrong house.
No.
Now, metaphorically, this is in my head all the time.
Right.
In other words, if you go through life painting the wrong house, all of them, they'll be painted well, but they're not the right houses, so you're not going to get paid. In other words, there's a difference between doing things right and doing the right things. You could paint someone's house right, correctly, but if it's the wrong house, who cares?
So, Flory, we are wrapping up.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe it.
This has gone so quickly.
I know.
So, how can people reach you? What are you offering? You're offering seminars, your weekend getaways at your winery and your beautiful
and virtual
place.
seminars. So the name of the company is A Wakened Events, abbreviated as AW, because who doesn't want to have awe inside of us? And as you look at my logo, it is an alarm clock, like wake up, live a life by design, not default. What's really exciting and coming on the horizon is I'm creating a one-year academy.
Marvelous.
For ages 18 to 28. It can be instead of college, before college, or after college. It is
that's marvelous.
Lifelong life skills and support.
Wonderful.
It's going to be a cohort program, so that's very exciting. But you can find me on social media. My website is a-wakened-events.com. And social media, Instagram is a_wakened_events. And
Wonderful.
I am everywhere, and I am so excited to be transforming lives as they transform mine. A blessing is never one way.
Well, it's a circle. It's a dance.
It is.
Let's leave them with a few thoughts. What are some things that you would like people to take away?
I'm going to quote Esther.
Okay.
Your awareness of what hasn't happened keeps what hasn't happened from happening.
Oh, say that one more time. That is brilliant.
What's that saying in a few different ways? We are our own worst enemy. Mm-hmm. We're getting in our own way. We're always waiting for the shoe to drop. When good news happens, we don't want to jinx it.
Right.
I am telling the world, do the opposite. Rampage. When something good is going, talk to everybody about it.
Yes, I've been doing that today.
Yeah, energize. People are like, I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop. That's 55,192 negative thoughts.
Yes.
No, rampage. Tell everyone. And I want to just take that back a little. Maybe don't tell everyone. Tell people that are like-minded.
That are going to lift you up.
That are going to lift you up. And that's what this saying is saying. So here we go. This is our ending. Your awareness of what hasn't happened keeps what hasn't happened from happening.
I love it. Flory, thank you so much for being on the show.
I'm so happy.
I have goosebumps. I'm so excited, and I can't wait for everything to happen. Thank you for joining us with Secrets of the Stage. We air the first Sunday of every month at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time on mnm.org, Channel 4. Or you can reach me at QuinnLemley.com, sign up for my mailing list, and be a part of my world. I would love for you to come to my concerts and be a part of Secrets of the Stage. You can meet me on Instagram at Quinn-Lemley. And I hope to see you next month on Secrets of the Stage.